to the MMOs.com podcast. This is episode 54 now, and this is Altai, joined by...
Omer?
Gumbo.
Matt?
Aurelia.
That was good. That was like an enjambment.
Alright, we got everyone here.
Alright, so before the
I
weekly
panicked
raid,
because my...
it was Memorial Day weekend. We have two qualified white people on this board. How was your barbecue?
I didn't have one.
What?
No, you see?
You lose your white card.
Erhan, I spent all of Memorial Day in bed, sick as shit. So.
Well, that sucks.
That sucks.
I spent it going through Madoka Magica, so that's about it.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Did you like it?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
I enjoyed that one too.
The ending, I saw the same thing in a comedy once, so I was a little like iffy about the fact that this dark fantasy that's supposed to be totally serious and like fucked up had an ending like a comedy. But other than that, it was pretty good. So.
But more importantly, how do you not have a barbecue? I remember when you first started working for MMOs.com, like you did this freelance work.
We have a lot of barbecues, I know.
You had a barbecue every single weekend.
You know my parents. They're very white. We're very white people.
But not for Memorial Day?
We celebrate our whiteness. We have white history month.
You have homework tonight. Go have a barbecue tonight. Make up for it.
The reason why is my brother graduated college. So he said,
congratulations.
Barbecue, and we'll just go out to dinner. So we did that with the whole family. With the Irish, there's a lot of us. There's people I don't even know their names, and they show up. So we did that instead of the barbecue last week. So no barbecue. I actually sat at MMOs.com. I scrolled up and I scrolled down. I just looked at it all day. And then I made margaritas, and that was the end of it.
Awesome.
So
cool.
It was not bad. Happy Memorial Day, everyone. Go America.
And
God bless America and no place else.
No place else. That's the Trump slogan.
All right,
That's
take the weekly
America.
raid.
All right, back to the weekly raid.
The weekly raid. So I'm back. I feel welcome. This week, I read an article in PC Gamer, of all places, only because of Reddit. And basically what the article was getting at was that private MMO servers, have better communities than their official counterparts. The article was titled, How I Rediscovered the Magic of MMOs in Private Servers. And it confirmed, or not necessarily confirmed, but it supported a long-held belief I've always had, which is that on a private server, you're more likely to interact with people socially, you're more likely to talk and chat casually, and I think that comes down to just the nature of a private server, which is, number one, people go out of their way to install them, so you kind of have this shared connection with everyone else, because you installed something that in any other circumstance would give you a virus. If anyone remembers installing Ragnarok Online private servers, it was a pain in the ass. And two, the idea is that on a private server, you're more than likely a veteran of an older version of the game, such as Ultima Online. So you share a common interest by virtue of playing on a private server. So this week I'm asking, do private MMO servers have better communities than their official counterpart? And I want to know what everyone thinks, when everyone thinks in chat. If someone wants to take it away.
I'm going to go ahead and seize this one from the get-go, all right? I'm seizing it.
Seize the day.
Seized. Listen, first of all, it's clearly this one guy's experience, okay? Like, he played...
I understand. Go ahead.
A game that he really liked, clearly, right?
Star Wars. It was Star Wars.
Okay.
What was it called? You know.
All right. But, like, it's such a, like, anecdotal evidence. Like, that's the most...
No, that's fine. So what?
I'm going to go ahead and just say... Not really. I'm gonna say it's really the same either way.
I'm a bit surprised.
I mean, why?
Why?
It's just a group of gamers playing a game, and I've played private servers, and I don't feel any additional sense of community.
Yeah, that's fair.
I play Ultimate private servers, and I'm a dick. And on the private servers, I'm a dick on the official servers. I'm a dick all around. In fact, I'm more likely to be a dick on private servers because I take them less seriously. So the community, if I get myself ostracized, it's less big of a deal. If you get yourself ostracized from a bigger community or an official server, it actually might even mean a little bit more. It's like, who cares if these punks on a private server think you're an asshole? It's literally like a smaller knit community, sure, but I don't care about them. So from my perspective, I would play them the same.
But is that because of the type of player you are? Because you're not the type of player that would normally engage with the community, or you think?
I can only speak from my own experience. So
right.
That's my experience.
Right. Okay.
Well, another thing I wanted to bring up is that you're not really going into these games to like, like for
Socialize?
reals. Yeah, you're just going in there because like, oh, it's Ultima, like I can be an asshole again, you know?
Yeah.
Let's be real here. You're not like, oh man, I really miss those days. I want to go back to, the community. You're not going in there for that, Omer.
But who's
Of
going
course,
back to the
of course, you're not gonna have that experience.
No,
I mean,
but
a lot of people.
you can have that experience without trying. Like in Ultima Online, even the private server. I remember running into someone, like I stole from him, right? I killed him, I looted his body, and he's like, "Oh, come on, can I have it back?" I'm like, "Nope, lol." Then he says something like, "Oh, when did you start playing?" I'm like, "Oh, like 2000." He's like, "Oh, I started like around then too." And we just went back and forth, shared a few experiences, and then I kind of felt bad, so I gave like some of his stuff back.
So
Yeah,
he conned you. He conned you.
Suckered. You got
You
suckered.
got suckered. You got punked.
No, but there's a more of a shared experience because everyone you see in a private server, is a veteran, right? Like they went through the same experience as you.
Cover that. See,
interject.
There are a few different types of people that are on private servers. So there are the people that come from the game and have a passion for the game because they're like, oh hey, it's shut down, but I'm gonna sit here and risk viruses to try and play it some more.
Viruses, come on, Matt. Let's take it.
There's more than one. Go ahead.
There are the people who are like, I didn't want to pay for this shit, so I came to this private server, which you obviously don't usually want to hang around with because if they didn't want to pay for it, they're not very serious about it. They're going to be assholes probably. Mm-hmm. So there's also the kind of people that go onto a private server and they're not going to be run by professionals. They're going to be run by like the average Joe. So they're going to be the kind of people that go on there, try to mooch and like schmooze the private server overlords and like try and get free shit from them and GM support. Yeah, so there are those kinds of people. And then there are the kind of people who go to a private server because they find a pay-to-win one and want to pay their way through the game in a game that doesn't let you do that.
Whoa, real quick, man. I'm pretty sure the official servers normally allow you to do that.
Yeah, that's usually a feature, Matt. Come on.
Normally that's something that's get taken away.
Have you not played Tiny Mighty Heroes Unite? Have you not played any Chinese game? Come on.
Don't play them.
Okay, the way I would describe it, like, is the official server is like the mega church, right? Where the private server is like the culty, like everyone's closer. Everyone's closer in the private server. It's smaller community, but even though it's smaller, it actually feels more active. Only because the fewer people you see are dedicated. Like the guy who's playing 8 hours a day is probably more likely to play in a private server, or now especially. Like they take the game seriously. They're willing to put in the time. There are guilds like in Ragnarok, even today, they still join as a guild every new private server and like get to the top, like 30 people.
I feel like Matt made a really good point with the people that want to schmooze the devs and the GMs to get free shit. That is the real issue on private servers. Outside of maybe a few like marquee private servers for big games and like big well-known servers, I've been on Ragnarok private servers, MapleStory private server communities, and there are people that do schmooze their way to getting free shit from the admins, which is not that big of a deal, but it does ruin the balance and the fun of it.
I mean, if that's the line you draw in the sand when it comes to balance, then I mean you've arbitrarily picked where to get pissed off because most of these games have balance issues long before.
Yeah, of course.
It's funny. I agree with Erhan, and I think Shu agrees as well. I think private servers do have more cohesive communities. I think in my experience, playing half 100 private Ragnarok online servers. I mean, every time I played, I was far more likely to engage in a conversation and socialize and party up with people on a private server. And
Why?
I think all right. So my theory, which is just totally surface level, is that if you go out of the way to play in a private server, you already have a pre-existing passion for the game. I disagree with the idea that people are only playing private servers because they're free. I think you already have to have played the game in like an Ultima Online. Ragnarok maybe not so much, but I think you start in one private server and you hop to the next. So you do have that first server and you move on to the next one. Mm-hmm. And that passion is what unites those people. Whereas in an official server, most people play for like a couple of hours or whatever. Like we've seen those drop-off rates. And in the next week, they're gone. They move on to the next game. But on a private server, I think you have more long-term commitment because the person already had a pre-existing passion or desire to play that game.
The commit is much higher.
Right.
Yeah, the commitment is much higher, and I think that creates a more cohesive community. Whereas the official server is just like the vast majority of the population are MMO hoppers. Whereas on a private server, they're there for the game.
What you're trying to say is like the official server is like Applebee's. Everybody goes there, all right? Yours is like some craft brewery where some hardcore people go to.
And the private server.
Oh, Applebee's is good.
It's disgusting.
I have definitely seen a much different side of private servers than you guys have.
Yeah,
I've definitely seen much different.
Again, my main private servers that I played on for games was Ragnarok Online. I played the World of Warcraft private server, and I also played Ultima Online private servers. But beyond that, I only dabbled. I never like committed to another game. And that's because those were the games that offered the best private servers for me. But I'm sure other people have other experiences. So again, if you want to share your experience in a comment, I'm looking at chat here. We can talk about this in the after show too. By the way, Applebee's sucks ass. You only go for the appetizers. I don't know what everyone's talking about.
That's what
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I think Alta got overruled. Applebee's sucks.
Yo, Applebee's had a 2 for $20 deal, right? For 2 entrees, $20. I thought that was for one person, so I ordered 2 entrees.
I will give you this. If Applebee's is here, I'll put it here. Red Lobster is like down here. So
dang, Red Lobster hate.
Whoa, what's wrong with Red Lobster?
Wait, what?
It sucks. Red Lobster sucks.
Compared to Applebee's?
Oh, Red Lobster is horrible. I don't know.
Compared to Applebee's, Red Lobster's God tier.
Dude,
no,
right?
No way. Red
Lobster also has the really good biscuits, and you don't get shit from Applebee's. Okay, I'm just saying.
It's just butter.
Red Lobster is terrible.
No, they have cheese. Okay. You've clearly never been to a Red Lobster.
Guys,
Red Lobster is terrible. That's all that matters.
Sorry, the culinary podcast will now go live.
Bring it back. Anyone have any
podcast?
Anyone have any final words about private servers and their communities before I take us to the next topic here? Omer, you want to start?
Okay.
Final words on private servers?
Words. Yes. Since you...
I don't feel any closer to the community in a private server. I mean, obviously there's some more shared interest because you clearly seeked out a game. But that's always the case for older games. Because right now, if you play on an Ultima Online private server, you have that shared experience, yes. But if you play on like a MapleStory private server or like a Lineage 2 private server, any like more recent game, that shared experience is really irrelevant because it's a newer game anyway. Only when you seek out niche games, and even if you play on old RuneScape, if you play on like Tibia today, that's still a really old game that's still going strong. So there's no, I mean, I don't see how people would act differently in those. If the private server for Tibia versus the official server for Tibia or any old game, because it's, I don't know.
A lot of it,
I wouldn't act different.
I feel like a lot of what I'm seeing is just because it's older, actually.
Yes, only on older private server games. You have that sense of community, maybe.
Fair.
That's fair. Shu, Matt?
Well, I just think it's my experience with private servers has been they're full of assholes and GMs that are corrupt.
Yeah.
Corrupt GMs
I'm one of the assholes, all right? I'll take it.
Yeah, I'm around here, the assholes.
Actually, back when we used to run a Ragnarok server, we would sell weapons for real life money.
Yeah, I remember that.
We were paid to win up the ass.
You know what? I think I gave you $5 to be a GM. I think I did, and I think I split with you.
It was only $5 to be a GM.
No. We sold levels. We sold levels. Or every level was $1. All right.
I remember getting that GM status.
We sold a whole bunch of Balmong, that two-hand sword for $20.
Well, you guys are part of the problem.
We are the problem.
So I wanted to transition us out. I thought that this would be a great transition here to some astounding news. Speaking of private servers, it's actually not that astounding, but a private World of Warcraft server managed to find its way on Steam Greenlight.
No way.
This shouldn't be a surprise based on past games that show up on Steam Greenlight, like Butts VR, which is only $1, and I'm definitely buying that shit. But basically, it's a Russian-run private server. I believe it's run by one guy. It's not
a private server. It's private server software.
Oh, it's private server. So
maybe that's even cooler.
A little bit more. He wants to. Go ahead.
It's not listed as free to play or anything, so I'm pretty sure that what he's doing is he's trying to get his Wrath of the Lich King private server software onto Steam so that he can sell it. Now, if this wasn't hilarious enough, because this guy spent $100 to probably be sent a cease and desist, it doesn't work. There's basically nothing there. It's got like the dungeon finder works, but there are no dungeons implemented. You can only play an orc. Only like 5% of each class at most works. It's all listed on the page, and it's hysterical.
So bad.
If
you want a really bad private server, you download the software. You can only play an orc. Only an orc.
Can I
forever an orc.
the Steam Greenlight pages, he just took screenshots of the trailer.
I know, and his video is just like the cinematic trailer.
Yeah, not only that, his video is literally just him re-uploading it and putting the name in Russian.
Wait. I question this guy's like choices. Okay, why are orcs? Oh, I guess humans are also available.
Humans too, yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that.
A movie show.
You lied to me. Never mind. Still, what the fuck?
What does it mean the classes are working 1 to 5%? What does that mean? How does he quantify that?
No, 5% of the class's abilities is the way I read it.
What I thought was really funny about this was that considering the overwhelming support for Nostalrius, the comments on this Steam Greenlight page are overwhelmingly negative.
I'm not surprised.
But that's because it's not WoW fans, it's Steam users that are going on about like this is illegal, this shouldn't be on. Like cuz Steam has been turned into a community that's supposed to police itself, basically.
Which doesn't work.
The people that you're seeing commenting are the ones trying to police themselves.
So where were they when the Con Online private server got approved?
Too busy thinking it was real, apparently.
Okay,
go ahead.
Look at the Steam users really police themselves. Evane says 7 minutes ago, "I eat garbage," and he spelled it really wrong. And Steel Drake responds, "I am the Thresh Man." He even spelled trash correctly. What is this? This is nonsensical like YouTube comments.
It is. I think I'm gonna go ahead and say Steam Greenlight comments are below YouTube comments.
Wow.
After looking at this page, I think that in the hierarchy of comments, no one even recognizes Steam because who's browsing Steam Greenlight really? I mean, we always complain about Steam Greenlight and how it's a broken process, but I think the people who complain about it aren't the ones, including myself, who actually try and police it. And that's because I don't give a shit. I don't care to because so much of it is crap from a distance. So, when you think about who is it that's policing Steam, I mean, this is it. This is who's policing Steam Greenlight and seeing what gets passed and what doesn't. And I don't know. I hope this one gets passed, though. I really do. I wrote that in a comment. I hope it gets passed. I just think it would be funny to see it get approved and see how if Valve takes any action at all or it just sits up there. So.
Well, it's funny you mentioned the thing about the people that are policing it because I browse it all the time looking for new stuff. All the time. But I don't do any of the commenting. I rarely report anything. The only one I ever reported was I vote.
I voted for one game in my life. It was Brigador, the one I linked to you a while ago. But that was it. And that was
Let me check my count because it's pretty high.
This guy does have a YouTube channel. Actually, we can link it right now. Post for Coast is his name. I did not realize this earlier.
Yeah, see,
he has an intro. That's it.
Yeah, I like it as well. Oh my god, his video just screeches me.
It just destroyed my ears.
Yes, thank you so much for that, Gumby.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm just trying to add to the podcast.
Yeah, before we move on, Sean won me 1,881.
Really?
Wow. Yes.
Jeez, Matt. You know what? I'm not surprised. Good for you.
I know Sean I know Gummy had a plan to go to a different topic first, but I'm gonna go ahead and steal it and ruin his planning because what kind of podcast would be if we follow the schedule, all right? Matt's favorite game, okay? Matt, he wakes up and plays the game all day. Trinium Wars goes free to play.
I forgot about that one.
I'm not sure why I said it was Matt's favorite game. I think he's the one that told me about it, but
no, because Matt was the one we were talking about the whole Diablo 2 thing. Remember?
Oh yeah. Okay, so
someone called us out about it. Some bullshit.
No, what's funny is this game. Okay, the guy behind this game was actually it was a buy-to-play game, went free to play, right? And before this, it was called Law. It was called Land After War. It was like 5 years old.
Living After War.
And apparently the guy behind the game, and in fact, you see press releases of Trinium Wars all the time saying it was made by a guy named Jay Wookley, who was quote unquote the lead artist, right? The lead artist for Diablo 3.
Diablo 3.
And when I first read that, I was curious, like, can this possibly be true? Like, we would hear about this, the lead artist at Diablo 3 made his own game. So I Googled this, and I find out pretty quickly that he's not listed in the credits for Diablo 2 or Diablo 3.
He is listed in the credits for Diablo 3. We went over this.
Okay, you had to really dig through it to find it.
He was a freelancer, right?
He was a freelancer. No, he was not the lead artist.
No, he worked at Blizzard North. He was
That's why it wasn't listed, right? Because Blizzard North.
Yeah, because Blizzard North went under before Diablo 3 was finished, and then it was taken to another studio. Now, where the confusion comes in and where Omer's pissed off about is that when it was Living After War, Pro Steven Sat 1 is a pretty infamously bad publisher, and now they own Aeria.
Mm-hmm.
But their PR people clearly got together and went, let's blow this out of proportion, and called him the lead artist of Diablo 1 and 2. When he's not. But the new PR people got it right and said that he was an artist for Diablo 3.
Yeah, so they actually corrected that, but they got rid of that lead artist nonsense, and they said
because it's a different company. It's a completely different company.
Okay, but now the wording is he was participating in the first concept art of Diablo 3. He worked on Diablo 3. He was not the lead artist of Diablo 3 at any point. But he
still worked on it.
Okay, yes, no doubt, he worked on it. But to say he was the lead artist was just bullshit, which got me out.
A completely different company.
Yeah. But anyway, the game is free to play now, and I know we talked a lot about buy to play versus free to play, and even now that it went free to play, no one's gonna play it anyway. The business model is not in question here. The game is just duked here.
Well, see, it was gonna go free to play anyways after early access. They just decided to do it early because they have 1,000-player resource wars and nobody was populating them.
Guaranteed, nobody plays them now. Anyway.
Basically, I did want to bring up that since going free to play, the population has remained
nothing.
I don't know, fairly steady. It's currently there were 91 people playing 12 minutes ago, 163 peak, and that peak is probably from the free to play announcement.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's not bad. I mean, look, to be honest, on Steam, and I've brought this up many times, on Steam, that's okay, around 100 player average. I mean, it's better than a lot, not better than also a lot, but I mean, it's a surprising number of people playing the game compared to many new releases and games that look more polished at a distance. So I guess there's something to it. We had one of our guys reviewed it. I think it was Mark reviewed it, and his final score was a fair, which equates to a 2 out of 5. So not
that was awfully generous.
What was your takeaway, Mark, from the first look?
Mark is a generous guy.
Well,
garbage.
I think
unplayable garbage.
I think it is not unplayable. I can assure you that much. I've played way worse.
Fighting yourself. I mean, it's the same thing. Like some people enjoy it. I guess if people enjoy torturing themselves, you can play it.
They're masochists.
Well, here the thing I think is also an issue is there's literally zero marketing. It's the same as Insel Games' other effort, which is World of Fishing. There's zero marketing going on at all.
There is
also zero fun going on.
Wow.
I'm really the one to say to bash on a game, but come on, it's just such an old. It just feels like an old generic game.
It looks very old. Yeah, definitely. At a distance,
that's
looks
because
like a very
it is very old. Just retune, remember?
But that's I feel like that's problematic.
That is problematic. But I'm just saying, you're saying it looks old because it is old.
If I really do
I never played this, right? But I'm looking at the trailer, and I like the setting. It's kind of like
the trailer is the best part.
Cyberpunk, steampunk kind of feel. But if you guys say if my brother says the gameplay is not good, I believe him more than.
It's just it works, but it's super generic. It is super generic.
Listen. If I have a decent game, right, and I find the old CD laying around, I made a game 10 years ago, it was okay, and then I launch it for the first time. It's garbage today. It doesn't meet today's standards.
Yeah.
If it was okay 15 years ago.
Too much baggage. Too much baggage for this game. Yeah.
It's not even a relaunch of a game. It was never out before.
It's what can I compare it to? There's a lot I could compare it to. Yeah. There's so many.
Heads up. Did anyone out there play a game called Neosteam? That was one of my better experiences free to play.
To call that better is again a stretch.
Oh.
I'm sure it was better than this. I don't really remember it too much, but it was by Atlas Online, I believe. If I remember correctly?
No, it was published by Atlas.
Published.
Atlas did not make any MMOs. They didn't even make the Shin Megami Tensei one.
Okay, somebody randomly brought up Kabata Online, and I have to mention, I did a first for that game ages ago. It was a game where it advertised you can go nude, right? It was realistic, right? It was saying if you got hit by orcs, your clothes and your armor would rip off, right? So the first thing I do when I log in, I run in front of an orc and just stand there, and I wait for him to destroy my armor. My durability's got to go to 0 for it to fall off, but you can't take it off manually. So I just stood there for an hour, getting these orcs and wolves to beat on me, and I finally got to see the nipple, and that was mission accomplished, and I logged off. That was my experience with Kabata Online.
Good experience. I know Matt mentioned it briefly, but I think it's big news. Aeria and Gamigo, right? Merged. Can we talk about that for a minute?
Yeah, it's worth mentioning. That's a big one.
So Aeria, for me, it was, I think, one of the first free-to-play publisher portals, right, that I encountered. Gamigo, I didn't really have as much to do with because it's in Germany, right?
I'm pretty sure. I mean, their games work in Germany too, and their games work in Europe.
All right, so how about this, guys? Everyone, tell me your favorite defunct Aeria games published game.
Defunct?
Defunct. They shut down so many.
That's a good question. Hold on, let's bring up the developer profile because I need to see it.
Me too.
What didn't they publish Imagine?
Yes, they did. I think they did for a while.
Yeah, so I like that game. I really did like that game.
Let's see. What could it be? Oh shit, there's a big list here.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Are they still
Battlefield Heroes. Battlefield Heroes. One of the only ones I play on this list, so I'm gonna say it.
Guys, I was a fan of Lime
I consider that to be EA. I consider. Well, Lime Odyssey, did you even play it?
The game never came out.
Very
I could have played it.
Oh.
All right, I'll tell you mine, guys. Ready? Stone Age 2. Who remembers that one?
Nobody.
I played that on the German server because I was like, I can't find this anywhere else because it already shut down by Aeria before.
It was the only caveman MMORPG I ever played. Like, it's prehistoric.
That's a lie. You've played Rust.
No, Rust has machine guns and helicopters.
All right. I actually like Luminary Rise of the Goons. Apparently they published that before. I don't even remember Aeria publishing that. Do you guys?
They published after the previous guy shut it down.
Then they shut it down too. Now it's by somebody else.
Yeah.
I think the original developers are publishing Luminary now.
I wonder if any Stone Age 2 videos left on YouTube.
I think the German one finally shut down too, so Stone Age I think is gone.
Dang. Oh, I found a trailer. I found a trailer for this game.
Stone Age or Luminary?
Stone Age. Guys, this was the only prehistoric MMORPG that I know in existence. Well, it's not even in existence anymore.
All right.
It was in existence.
So, I have something very important I have to ask you guys before we go on.
Okay.
And this is Omer's fault.
My fault.
It always is. It always is. Go on.
You're already wrong.
Can a game be an MMORPG, a proper MMORPG, without combat? Without combat. Can it be an MMORPG?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Yeah, why not? Yeah.
I mean, because Omer said it wasn't a proper MMORPG because it didn't have combat in his
Wait, when did I say that? When did I say that?
You said that about Habitat.
Yeah, I did say that. But, okay, it wasn't. Okay, again.
No, I have read tons of player testimonials about Habitat because I wasn't able to play it, and it was a proper MMORPG.
Okay, my reasoning behind the way I phrased that, because I didn't mention it when I talked about Habitat. I mentioned it when I talked about Neverwinter, because I said it was the first actual MMORPG on this list.
Actually, you mentioned it during Habitat. I watched it.
Okay. Anyway, when most people think of an MMORPG, they don't think of a game like Habitat or Club Penguin or something like that.
Or Second Life.
Just because they don't think about it doesn't make it invalid.
Sure, but again, I was trying to keep it from the layman perspective. I don't think most people
you shouldn't have mentioned it at all. Now you've got them thinking about it.
Who here thinks Club Penguin is an MMORPG?
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, not MMO at least.
Technically, sure. Let's say you really like Club Penguin, right?
Okay, technically.
Let him talk.
Matt, if your friend, let's say you love Club Penguin, it's your favorite MMORPG, okay?
Like Neo.
And your friend asks you, can you recommend me a good MMORPG? He's a casual. Are you going to recommend Club Penguin? No, because you know that's not what he's thinking. That's not what he means when he says MMORPG.
That's not a fair argument, Omer.
That isn't a fair argument.
People don't view.
Not. Connotation is not a fair argument for invalidating denotation.
It's 100%.
That was good, man.
100% a fair argument.
If
you recommend Club Penguin to your friend who just quit WoW, he's gonna punch you in the face.
No, but if you're the kind of person who plays Club Penguin, your friends are also gonna be kind of like you. They're not gonna be like 30-year-old.
The point is, when people say MMORPG, regardless of what the actual definition is, right? It doesn't even matter what the actual.
First of all, Club Penguin's a browser game.
Do you know A Tale in the Desert?
Yes.
Is that an MMORPG?
I haven't played it. I know very little about it.
It has skills. It has RPG. You make your own character. You have to build a bunch of shit. You have to run society. You can become a demigod and make new servers.
Are you playing by yourself or are you playing with other people?
You're playing with other people.
Okay,
that's an MMO. It's an MMORPG. Yes, but there's no combat.
Sure, that's fine. Because you have more elements of an MMORPG there.
What about Neopets?
But there were all those elements in Habitat also. Okay, and in Neverwinter.
Whether you like it or not, the words role-playing game have a meaning in the gaming community. Whether you want to argue technicalities is different. Role-playing game typically means the traditional way you're fighting things. It's not just playing.
Well, okay, if we want to go that way, then role-playing game typically means turn-based. Do you really want to go there?
No, it doesn't. It could mean turn-based, but it's
not
necessarily.
No, it does. The classic definition of RPG is turn-based.
But the point is, terms are not, they're fluid, okay? And they take their own meaning in different context. Okay, that's the point. There is no absolute definition that has to be used very specifically in every situation. They take their own meaning in different contexts. So I think I use the term pretty fairly.
I still think you have just told a bunch of people that a label that applies to a game does not apply to a game.
No, what? I in the context of my video, I said it wasn't an actual MMORPG, and perhaps I shouldn't have said the word actual.
That was poor wording, yeah.
It wasn't perfect wording, but honestly, I don't think anyone has complained in the video about the way I used that word.
Because no one knows what that game is, so they're like, they just kind of took it on face value, you know? Like,
okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Our audience is too young, Omer. You just fooled them. You're rewriting history. Right, Nixon, calm down.
There's actually a really good 15-minute intro explanation trailer for Habitat, for those of you interested in, like, I guess, MMORPG history. And I'll put it in the link notes or something.
That was a really cool video I did. It did quite well on YouTube too. I just listed some of the oldest MMOs.
No, you did really well otherwise. I just really wanted to bring that up.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. But again, I'm arguing that my defense is that terms are not there are not absolutes. And yes, Matt, you are technically correct. Sure, I'm not debating your technical correct's.
That's all right, boys. Final words. That's it. My final word is that Omer's wrong. Terms are absolute, but that's a whole different ballgame. So let's move on to the next. That's called getting cut off. I had a whole mission plan here to take us through today, and Omer hijacked me. So where was I going to take us next? I was going to take us. Yes. No, not yet. I wanted to talk about free to play. I wanted to have an interesting conversation about free to play. OverWatch. I remember we predicted quite a few games would go free to play. We've been doing the podcast for over a year now. We predicted quite a few games were going to go free to play, and we were totally wrong. Black Desert Online, Overwatch. There was something else as well. And a recent report came out. An industry analyst showed that a lot of developers are moving away from the free-to-play model. And I know Omer here, and I believe Erhan as well, have been champions of the free-to-play model since MMO Huts. So I thought we would talk about this new report, as it's pretty relevant to things we've been talking about the last few weeks. Just that developers are choosing the buy-to-play model over free-to-play. Why is that? Anyone want to take
you want to give the quote from the report? Because I think it said it was a pretty outstanding, like pretty unbelievable number, to the point where I actually don't believe it.
Cliff Blazinski?
Okay. No, 82.8% of U.S. gamers surveyed and 87.69% of UK gamers surveyed prefer the one-time fee business model, the free-to-play and microtransaction model.
Who's their sample? That's what I want to know.
I think you guys are confusing prefer with deal with. Because if something's free, you're going to jump into it because it's free. You know, you have nothing to do, you're bored, you're going to jump into this. You can't do that with a buy-to-play thing. But free-to-play games are associated, by and large, by people as paywalls, pay to win, blah, blah, blah. And people would prefer to just pay once and get it over with. Now, do they pay once and pay? Now, when they say prefer, that doesn't mean that they're going to do it. That just means, theoretically, these people that answered this prefer it.
Okay, but
it's the way it was worded.
But you're arguing that's meaningless, is your argument, because you're saying they prefer, but that doesn't mean what they're going to play.
But that's pretty much what everybody does. They worded it in a way that fit their argument. You know, they worded it in a way to get the response that they wanted. That buy to play was.
I don't know. I didn't see the questionnaire. Did you?
Okay.
So the title of this article that we linked
in there. Do they prefer it?
Okay, but I have to steal this for a moment because this reminds me of an excellent quote from Rick and Morty, and it actually makes sense here.
Oh, please.
I have to drop the Rick and Morty quote.
I love it.
When Jerry's wife asks him, do you want homeless people to have homes? And he says, yes. Are you going to build them homes? He says, no. So what's the point? So again, sure, they prefer that, but they're not going to play by the play. They can say they prefer it, but unless it's actual action, it doesn't mean anything.
But yeah, that's exactly right, though. That's what you're looking at is not the whole picture. You know, when you see the graph.
When I brought this up, I wanted to have a discussion about the transition, the idea that developers are moving to buy-to-play models, which I think is evident just based on some of the major releases we've seen. But you guys are arguing that the study is undermined completely, that this study isn't relevant.
The study only takes one aspect of it, and that's the player side. But that's not what the titles. That's not what this article is about. It's about developers are
right.
The indisputable fact is developers are moving towards buy-to-play.
They're not.
They are. Lawbreakers, Overwatch, Black Desert,
Overwatch, Black Desert,
and
Tree of
the article covers that.
Elongated buy-to-play model in order to get early access.
And let me explain
go ahead.
Let me quickly once again reiterate why I think this is happening. It doesn't have to do with. It has everything to do with the complexity. If you want to make a game free to play and be successful, like a Blizzard style game, like I'm not talking about like a Luna Online with 10 people online. If you want a real game, a real success, making it free to play is actually harder from a design point.
Yeah, we've talked about this before.
Yes. Okay.
Designing the cash shop, designing the systems in the game to take advantage of microtransactions it requires a whole team of people that are dedicated and specialize in monetization.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
Okay, Erhan, it does go over why developers are moving there. That's the whole survey was just one part of it. And in terms of like Overwatch, it has nothing to do with complexity. It has to do with, let me read you the quote. From the beginning, we knew this was a game all about heroes. As we continue to work on it and add more heroes to it, hero switching became a really key component. To really provide for a breadth of heroes to allow for that switching, to let people look at the other team and say, okay, let's change our lineup a bit, became core to Overwatch. To support that, we need to have our 21 heroes available to everyone, meaning they could not make it a free-to-play model where you buy heroes and provide the best experience.
But Matt, what you're basically then what that means is that they don't see a cosmetic cash out model as viable to be profitable.
And perhaps Blizzard doesn't. I mean,
that's not fair. Like that doesn't make sense to me.
They don't have it for Dota, or not Dota, for Heroes of the Storm like Dota has it. You know, you buy the heroes in Heroes of the Storm. You have that option like League. So maybe they don't see it as viable.
At the same time, Overwatch is one very specific.
But Matt, also. But quoting the Blizzard guys like PR is not an argument, I think, because look at Hearthstone. If hero switching is an issue in Hearthstone, there's thousands of cards, right? Card switching is an issue. Why don't they charge $60 for that? Because they actually have the right monetization pit designed for a card game. It's simpler. But for a shooter like this, to design it in a way where it doesn't feel frictiony, where they can milk you for hundreds of dollars over time, it takes a full team of people to come up with to design the monetization around gameplay.
And they have that. Blizzard has that.
Oh, good. They're double dipping with the loot boxes.
I don't know. I feel like talking about Overwatch and saying that you can't. Well, the reason is because the whole game is based around counterplay. So it's like if you don't have access to all the heroes, it's like literally impossible to play the game. It's like, what are you gonna do? They're gonna have.
No, it's not. But you're gonna buy them. That's what you're gonna do.
Done.
No, you're gonna buy them.
I think Shu brings up a good point. Number one, we're getting too focused on Overwatch. This isn't just about Overwatch. Yeah. Overwatch just happens to be all in our minds because we want to play it. This is about the entire industry as a whole. Okay. This is Black Desert. This is Atlas Reactor, Tree of Savior. This is the entire industry.
You can't talk about the entire industry on 3-4 games in a recent trend. Okay,
that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying we need to bring up the entire thing and the trajectory from 2000.
Okay, Black Desert. Okay? Black Desert.
Not specific instances. Not specific instances. I want to approach this from a general level. So
what if it has to do with these game companies using free to play as like a trump card? You know, like holding in the back. I mean, a lot of games have been doing that, right? Like you release the game, pay to play, and then you have the trump card of like, oh shit, our numbers are going down. Boom, free to play, right? And it gets like a huge injection of players.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of double dipping going on, and I don't blame them for that. Why not release it as buy to play for your evangelical audience? Get the initial payday, and then like 6 months later, free to play. That would probably be more common, I think.
Okay, you want to talk actual numbers again? You guys are bringing up very recent trends, and you guys are saying as if it's going to be just that's the way that it's moving.
Let's do a general consensus. So go ahead, Omer, since you've been a champion of free to play. Take it from an entire industry.
If you look at the actual numbers from, let's say, 2000 till today, look at pay to play, and we're talking about MMOs. Okay? You can't just look at retail games as a whole. Because if I buy Halo in the store, that's not the same thing.
It doesn't count. It's not an MMO. It's outside of our sphere.
Okay, so if you look at actual MMOs and the kinds of games we generally cover, pay to play MMOs like subscription based. First of all, subscription's gone.
Yeah.
Free to play has destroyed subscription models. There are games like Guild Wars and a handful of games that have succeeded generally as a one-time purchase. But how can you guys forget how big free to play has gotten? League is 1.5 billion. No. Dota is huge. CS is huge. Hearthstone is huge. Heroes of the Storm is getting there. Not Lineage. If you look at the games on our most profitable games list on MMOs.com, we have almost all free to play. World of Tanks up there as well. So you look at 3 games that went buy to play, and you're saying
I'm talking the last year. I'm talking 12 months.
Okay.
Okay, but there are a lot of things that you're not looking at here. Okay, first off, a small number of free to play games are actually successful, and we've gone over this before. We have.
Yeah.
Only a small number of free to play games are actually successful, and every other one is just kind of barely making it, or not making it, and headed for disaster. But the other thing you're not looking at is in the buy-to-play model, outside of games like Overwatch and Call of Duty and Counter-Strike Go, where they have all this DLC and all these cosmetic crap, they don't have the same potential for profit that free-to-play games have. Every player is worth exactly what the game is worth. And a lot of people wait for sales, so it's not that every player is worth $60. Every player is worth closer to about $30 when it averages out. But if you have even a small percentage of people that pay exponentially more than that in a free-to-play game, that drives up your amount per player significantly.
Okay. On a micro level, sure, there's an argument to be made. Let's look at a macro level, because this discussion is about macro level. I looked at chart for the global games market from 2014 to 2018 estimated revenues. Look at pay-to-play, 2.7 billion to 2 billion by 2018, going straight down. Look at retail, which is, by the way, it counts Halo, it counts Overwatch, it counts basically any game you buy. It stays about flat from now till 2018. Look at free-to-play. It's still going up from 8 billion to 10.9 billion by 2018.
Now, Omer, would that also maybe free-to-play is only increasing in its market share because there are so many new games coming into the
I'm not saying every
play,
Okay, but also, this is exactly the same thing I just said, that they don't have the same growth potential that free-to-play games have. That's why it keeps rising, because as free-to-play takes over in the eyes of everyone, with all these mobile games and everything, it's just they have more growth potential.
But as an industry, then we can say free to play is bigger, and the industry trend is still free to play.
Sure,
but it's maybe not bigger in people though. That's what I'm saying.
But the industry trend, where is the industry trend? I can see from this chart that pay to play goes down, retail stays flat, free to play goes up.
I mean, if you're talking industry trend, it's all mobile. Everything else is a waste of time, in my opinion.
Mobile's on here too, by the way. That's different.
But how is that
arguing the industry trend is buy to play, which it can't be true. The numbers are in your face.
No. Here's why, Ryan. Listen to me. Actually, Overwatch, I think, could have went free to play and made millions, right? That's no problem. But if you're a game like Lawbreakers, okay, and you're free to play, imagine your Lawbreakers, you can update the game once or twice, 1 year, 2 years, then you're done. The game's done.
On a micro level, sure.
If you release that game as a free to play game, everyone's gonna play 1-2 rounds and stop. But if you release it for $50, if you release it for $50, the same people who would have tried it are gonna buy it now. You got your $50, you're done.
We are arguing industry. You're arguing specifics.
Okay.
Industry-wise.
And here's the industry issue.
You might be right.
There are hundreds of buy-to-play games that are considered successful. Hundreds, right? Every year. On Steam. Like you're buying for $10, right?
Yeah.
And the guy who made it, the team that made it, is very happy that 1 million people bought it.
Sure.
Right? Now, with the free-to-play, though, you have top 10 games making all the revenue, and everyone else just kind of struggling to get around, just to stay afloat.
That rule applies for everything, sure. Because there's more indie developers on the
buy-to-play side.
Well,
but why are they on the buy-to-play side? That's my main issue here. It's
my
easier.
main issue is industry
because it keeps them afloat.
Yes, it's easier.
Indie games stay afloat easier with a buy-to-play model.
Sure.
Yes,
of course.
That's proven.
Yeah,
okay, that's fine.
Not just indie titles. Anything besides the megas. You need a mega audience to pull off free to play. A mega audience.
Luna Online just launched on Kickstarter.
It's not making money. It's making like $1 to paint the servers.
We have been over the fact that you think these things are worth $1,000 at most. They can make that back in no time and have it running on a skeleton crew that runs their other 10 games.
Exactly. So the point is, you could make money.
There's no money there. No. You can't make money. There's no money there.
Hey guys, I think there's a point that we're actually missing here. Is that, you know, a lot of the recent pay-to-play games that you guys have mentioned are also transitioning into using free-to-play elements such as cash shops. I mean, look at Overwatch. I mean, we were using Overwatch as an example, right? You can buy loot boxes. I know I've bought 100 of them, right? So they're using both. That way they can milk the benefits of both, because free-to-play has its issues and so does buy-to-play, right? It's finding what is right within those two things for your specific game. Because, you know, we're talking about an entire industry that has all sorts of different games. I mean, like, you know, free-to-play games need to deal with more hackers, but buy-to-play games, you can't get your friends to play as easily, right? So it's like finding that good middle point. But like I said, people are using both. Yeah. Like the benefits of both.
We're
nowadays.
Definitely going to see both.
You know,
there's no reason not.
We're saying it's trending towards there, but it's still taking parts of free-to-play with it. You know, it's like people are like getting away with it now. You know, like, I mean, that would not have been okay like a couple of years ago. If you paid for a game and then they were like, oh, by the way, we have these microtransactions, people would be pissed off. But now everyone's like, okay, you know, everyone's conceded to it. You know.
Okay, Sean is telling us repeatedly to wrap it up, so here are my final comments.
Last words.
Shirelli said it a lot better than I did. So basically, I don't think either model is going anywhere. It's just down to the game. I mean, Omer is a champion of free-to-play. I get that, but it's not right for every game, and it's not going to replace. It's not going to replace buy-to-play anytime soon. The fact is, what he's looking at is a condensation of a bunch of things that are dependent on each game's growth potential. That's my final comment.
Final comment. I do want to disagree slightly with what Altai said. He said you have to be massive to make money, because Altai and Matt were both saying that lots of indie games making money as buy-to-play supports their argument, but small free-to-play games that aren't massive, like Luna Online and basically anything on Suba Games, don't support my argument, and that doesn't make sense, because you could have smaller free-to-play games that do make money, like everything on Suba Games and possibly Red Fox. We don't know if they're profitable yet, though.
All right. My point is it takes when free to play first came to the West, everyone jumped in. They said, okay, this is a freebie, baby. We're gonna just release the game for free. And his issue, all the Korean companies that they published the games from had the cash shops ready. Okay, there was a lot of investment in Asia in designing games to have monetization pits. Yeah. So when Western studios brought those games over and just published them, it was easier. But when they started designing them, I think they quickly realized that free to play isn't easy. You don't just slap a cash shop with hats. You have to design the game with systems in mind to take advantage of people's desire to go into that cash shop regularly in a way that doesn't break the game. So and I think a lot of smaller studios, mid to small studios, just couldn't pull that off well. So now they're kind of transitioning back to what they're used to, what they have 20 years of experience in, and that's buy to play. And the mega studios like Blizzard kind of mix both, because they have the expertise and size to be able to do both.
I think major titles, with a lot of marketing power behind them, will choose buy to play, and I see more indie titles going free to play, and I think that will keep the graphs skewed, and that free to play will be profitable, also because there are just so many more contenders in the free to play market. But I think major studios will choose the buy to play model, so long as they can market it largely. But that's just an opinion. I have no facts to back that. That's more of a feeling.
Right. Specifically, let's take the MMOs for.
We're done. We're done.
No, Omer,
we're done. Last words. Those are the last words.
Listen,
those were the last words.
This isn't even on topic.
We
got
MMORPGs. Let him go.
This is on business models. Okay, you were very vague when we say buy. How about the subscription model? Where do you guys think that's going to go?
Oh, it's dead.
It's dead. It's been
dead. We have no argument there.
It's dead. We all agree that subscription.
That's it. There's only one MMO. There's only one type of MMO that is going to work in a subscription model, and that is whatever one decides that they're going to take Netflix or Hulu first and make it a VR experience where everyone sits in this little virtual cinema together and watches movies on demand.
But is that an MMO, Matt?
Is it an MMO? It's Club Penguin VR.
Massively multiplayer online.
Matt, that's not an MMO. Wait, Sean is an MMO. Sean is the arbiter of what's an MMO or not because he wrote the article.
Is there a persistent world?
The theater.
Yes,
the theater is always
cinema.
there.
So if I watch anime with Matt on Rabbit, is that an MMO?
No, I'm saying that there's going to be someone eventually that's going to make a specific cinema that you can walk into in VR and sit down with a bunch of other people, whisper to them, and watch this movie. Somebody's going to do it. And that is going to be the subscription service that works.
And they're going to sell a Cash App item where you click the button, it makes a cell phone noise in the movie theater, and it pisses everybody else off.
Oh, that sucks so much. Let's make that.
All right, take it away.
Let me transition us the hell out of here. I wanted to talk about this because we had made a bet a couple of weeks ago before I left. I want to talk about Tree of Savior because it's one of the oddest stories I've seen in a while. Basically, Tree of Savior is no longer allowing it's not allowing new players to download and play the game. The reason why is the game has been having a lot of server instability issues. So as a way to try to take time and fix the issues they're having, they've decided to not allow anyone new to download the game. Now, this seems very odd. And to exemplify how odd it is, the player base has now dropped. 45 minutes ago, there were 15,000 players playing. Now, when we made our original bet, we all lost. Omer was correct. We're going to keep denying the truth. There were 40,000 players playing about 2 weeks ago. So this is very dramatic, and it seems that Tree of Savior kind of feels doomed right now. Now, that's not necessarily the case, but it's just that the population has dropped so dramatically. This just seems like an odd fix. I wanted to get your opinions on it because I've never seen anything like this happen before with a game.
I just want to throw it in there. I told you guys, I'm pretty sure you can go back. I originally said first week of June. I think I did. I did.
Were you
no, but that wasn't the bet. That wasn't the bet. That wasn't the bet.
This is the only. See, my opinion is that the only reson this happened is that this shit happened. I know. Like, I mean, this is.
I know.
I think even players who are dedicated may have left because this just is a crazy example of incompetence. I mean, this should not be happening.
My thing is, they told us earlier. The Korean players told us, we read all the things, the boards that were translated by like Stepru and everyone, whoever it was. The Korean players told us it wasn't ready, and we didn't believe them. And clearly, it just wasn't ready.
Well, I mean, it's typical. No game's ready when it releases. Even the Division wasn't ready.
This was clearly really not ready.
No, though. I mean, I believe them. It really, like, the game needs like another year of development. It's
really
bad.
Wow.
It's bad.
That's damning.
Guys, I love Tree of Savior. I want to love it so bad. It's just not ready. It's unplayable.
Wow.
Fucking bad.
Now, okay, so do you think the team, is any hope that they will in a year, fix everything, or is this kind of gonna just sink now based on just experience?
Okay, so this is just based on people I've talked to because I don't play the game very much. I don't have time because of Overwatch, right? And D&D. But
that's okay. I don't have time. I'm at work, the school. No.
All right, but I've been talking to a lot of people that play a lot of Tree of Savior, and pretty much what they've told me is that they're fixing a lot of things that are not gameplay related. They need to fix like the actual like gameplay issues, but rather they're just fixing a bunch of little details that like is kind of nice, but it's like it's not gonna help you in the long run. It's good now, but it's not. Mm-hmm. It's not gonna take you further than that. It has diminishing returns,
I mean, that kind of shows me how far they are away from a complete game because if they have fundamental gameplay issues or incomplete issues, I mean, they're not even there yet. The servers aren't even working. So the netcode's not even working. So let alone gameplay, updates. So they're still. Wow.
When I was playing, you couldn't even get in a dungeon. You had to sit there and you had to like keep trying to join the dungeon like 30 times just to get in. It was you had like your entire party, like you fill up your party, you had like full party and everybody is trying to enter the dungeon. And then, like you have to imagine 5 people doing this like for 20 minutes to get in. It's ridiculous.
So, question, when do dungeons start? Like what level?
It's late.
So it's late, and they still couldn't even get the few people that got to the late game into the dungeons.
It's not that late. It's like I don't remember. It's been a while, but
it was level 50 though. I think it was around there.
It takes a while to get there, pretty much.
50 it is. Yep.
50, yeah. Thank you, Ichi.
This is a bit of a heartbreak. We had been looking forward to Tree Savior. I mean, I still love the art style. I think the music was great. I think sound temp, you can never go wrong. I was a bit disappointed by the linear hallway maps, but I mean, I really wish they had taken the time, and I think that the overwhelming demand for the game may have played a part in persuading the developers to release it early. And this is just kind of part of an overarching trend I see when it comes to development, which is products getting released too early. I mean, I think that if it wasn't for the huge population that was playing Tree of Savior, and these issues may not have been as prevalent because the more bigger the population, the more server issues you have, more instability. I mean, they were averaging 50,000 players, and that is impressive for what it was. I mean, and now you've just lost 35,000 on average, and that's gotta hurt. I mean, there was an AMA with somebody who worked at IMC Games on Reddit. I see if I can find it, and what he said was all logical, but the point is, it's not one person who makes these decisions. I mean, this is the entire team and some type of management position that pushed this out too early. So I don't know what's going on. I hope the game turns around. I want to see Tree of Savior succeed, even if I'm not playing regularly. But I don't know. Right now, it doesn't look good.
I want to chime in over here because if you look at the reviews on Steam, it's mixed, and there's so many negative reviews coming out right now. But this is slightly unrelated. But I'm looking at a negative review right now on Steam. It says not recommended, right? Yeah. And it says the guy has 408 hours on record. Now, before I even look at the guy's review, right? Forget the review. How can you play a game for 400 hours and you don't recommend it?
I don't know.
Okay, how can you work as an MMO reviewer and not understand that?
Listen, if you play a game
games like MMOs change all the fucking time. So say you put in 2,000 hours over 2 years, the game could be a completely different game from when you started, and you could hate the new game.
But I don't think that's the issue. They're saying it's buggy, but it was buggy the first day you logged in. It didn't get any less buggy. Let's be real. In fact, it got more buggy as more people got on. So in fact, it got worse.
I mean, I wanted to play Tree of Savior long before it came out. I mean, I played it even though I didn't like it. I mean, it's just how it is with MMOs. It has something that you want to play, and then you keep hoping it gets better as you play it.
That's true.
Sometimes it doesn't. Yeah,
I remember our first preview on MMOs.com was Tree of Savior. It was like the game I was most excited for.
And I think what happened. How long did you play it for?
Not that long. First of all, the first 2 days I couldn't interact with NPCs.
I know, it was impossible.
It was unbelievably bad.
It was embarrassing.
I think
I'll be right back.
I think if this lasts more than another week, the game is going to be going down fast. I think by the time it hits a month, I think the game's going to be dead if it's still offline.
But what's insane is how could they not fix the optimization issues? Literally, I remember lagging in town too, and I have a pretty powerful computer. How do you not fix frame rate issues on a game that's not even doesn't look that taxing, but it was so poorly optimized, and it's not a problem that I'm the only one that has. If you look at the reviews, one of the biggest complaints is the game is not well optimized at all. How do you launch a game in 2016 and not get your shit together like that?
I don't know. Ask the guys that ported Arkham Knight to PC.
They probably hired some random third-party studio that didn't
No, not some random third-party studio. I'm pretty sure it was the guys that are currently maintaining Killer Instinct.
Shoot has dropped an excellent quote from Rick and Morty.
Just get your shit, all your shit, put it in the bag, just get your shit together.
But how do you not this? You can say that was a porting issue, but a game like this highly anticipated when they got all these sales and come on, you could say the game.
I have no idea. Honestly, there's just a long-running thing with MMOs that they're super unoptimized at launch, and I have no idea why. If I could tell you, I would tell you, but I don't know anything about MMO design to like structurally. I don't know anything about how they do it, what they do to cut down on load times, what they load when. I don't know. I can't tell you. It's just they're always poorly optimized, basically.
Does anyone know a good site to check how the game is doing in Korea?
Gametrics. It was Gametrics, remember?
Yeah, but I see the top 10. Why do I go to where do I go here?
Oh, you can't see everything. I think you just paid to see more than top 20.
I've been to a site that did that before. I think Matt, maybe you linked it. Where Writers of Icarus was number 3 or something for MMO.
Yeah.
Do you know what site that was?
No. Oh no, that was a Reddit post. Somebody else had it.
Okay. I think maybe someone who was paying for Gametrics.
Overwatch is number 2. Holy shit! On Gametrics right now, it has about 19% market share in South Korea, which is really good for a shooter, I guess, because new Western
I
shooter.
might as well show that too. This is the top 10 games played in Korea right now in cyber cafes there. League of Legends always number 1. It's been number 1 since forever. Overwatch number 2. Boom, big percent. It's actually closer to League than I thought it would be.
Me too.
MMO culture made an interesting point. They said that the spike in popularity may have been due to numerous events that Blizzard organized, and also quote-unquote PC bang rebates. But I can't wait to play competitive Overwatch, and
Me too.
I can easily see a really intense and fun to watch competitive scene in that game. So I wouldn't be surprised if it continues to do well in the charts for a good time to come.
Oh, damn, we changed topics. I forgot. Somebody in Discord wanted us to settle something. Whether Tree of Savior is 2D or 3D, the sprites.
Oh, I actually saw something interesting about that earlier today.
I'll say 2D. I'll say 2D.
I'll say 2D as well.
I'm pretty sure they're 3D with 2D faces. But
I think it's 2D, and they make it look 3D due to some tricky shadowing and other effects. But I'm pretty sure that at its base, it is 2D.
It could be that they're pre-rendered and their screenshots pretty much are taken.
You guys know what True Savior should have done? You should have kept the early access thing there longer. They have excuses.
Oh, no, they voted on that. They voted on that. And people did not want the 3-month early access.
Well, okay, that's what happens when you hold a vote to your community and then you do what they say.
I'm an example of listening to your community.
You championed the 1 month thing. Do you not remember that?
We all wanted to play, Matt.
Matt, we all wanted to play. Okay?
Wait,
We're returning players. You can't listen to us.
Wait, I did what? I championed the 1 month thing? If they're gonna have it anyway, then I championed... Actually, I wanted it to be longer. But, people aren't gonna like that.
I like this one review for Tree of Savior. It says, just posted Tree of Lag, Tree of Disconnect, Tree of Commander Fail Load, Tree of Ping, Tree of Solo, Tree of Grind.
You know what this says pretty much? This pretty much says that, Blizzard is right about it. You should just release a game when you're ready.
Yeah.
Best games.
That's what Valve's doing with Half-Life 3.
Yeah.
Or you early access for a year. Yeah, right?
How many of these are true, Shu?
Cover all bases.
Tree of spam, Tree of gold sellers, Tree of bots.
That's true. Oh my god, Tree of bots, dude. There's like a hack in that game. Like when I was playing, there must have been a hack in the game because there's like this really rare dagger item called an Aeria dagger, and all the bots had it. They had the same gear. Every bot had like a really good gear. And like you have to understand, me and Mommy grinded the fuck out of this dungeon to get this dagger, and then you see every single bot running around with this dagger. Like they must have been hacking or like duping or something.
You got to get hacked by a bot, and then you take your account back after a month. You get all the gear, all the leveling for you.
That is true.
That's something next level shit right there.
I think
that's some true grinding.
I think that people are going to move away from early access as a whole, though, because it works for a lot of games, but it also there are a number of games I've seen just kind of fall into obscurity after a strong launch because the early access build was not very good. Mm-hmm. I mean, when was the last time we heard anything about the Forest?
I love the Forest.
I've never even heard about the Forest.
Shu and I streamed the Forest. We had a partner group in the Forest for a bit there when we first started streaming.
I Google images of I went to Google Images and searched the Forest. It didn't help.
No, it's one of those survival games, kind of. Right?
But when it started, it was pretty shit. I mean,
it was not good. But they improved it. They improved it.
But
I give the Forest props.
But still, the initial impressions I have imagine have killed it big time. Like maybe not as much as it could have.
Well, here's how we judge if it's dead or not. 1 sec. Steam.
No, it is 46,000 very positive reviews overall on Steam. That's pretty solid.
2,000 players playing. So I mean,
it's rocking it, dude.
How many players can play online now? Like together, one server.
On what?
On
the Forest?
Yeah.
It's either 2 to 4. I want to say.
I think it's 16.
Do you own it?
I do not own it.
Oh, because Shu, are you busy typing away? Shu's not there, but Shu and I were streaming it for a bit, and it was fun to play together. It's not an easy game to survive at night at first if you don't know what you're doing. Because what's interesting about the Forest, and this is a digression, is the game doesn't tell you how to craft shit, so you have to take out items and kind of like mash them together to figure out what works.
That
I
game is
hate the
really fun.
inventory. Just as another digression, I hate the inventory.
The inventory, I can see why.
It lets you have a certain amount of every item. You can't have more of it. You can't have less. You can just have that.
Yeah, that's pretty dumb.
But I still had fun. I mean, I don't know. Whatever. It's design choice.
I wanted to throw the leg down and pick up more sticks. Damn it.
Hey, you know what you do in your made-up house? It's all you, Matt.
So what's this game? Livelock? What is
your
this?
sticks.
Okay, so I wanted to bring this up because we had reported this game a couple months ago. This is from
several times.
This is from A Perfect World Entertainment, one of my favorite companies, publishers of the MMORPG of the same name with the best character creator of all time.
Made by 2K Games, not Perfect World.
Mm-hmm.
Published by Perfect World. Just clarify.
Fair enough. The game was just posted to Steam, which is kind of funny. The reason why I wanted to bring this up because Perfect World Entertainment actually has their own similar Steam service. I don't know what you would call these things.
Art games?
Art games.
Services. Yeah, some art games. And it's funny that it always feels like they're kind of giving up because they've put other games from their network on Steam, such as Swordsman, I believe is on Steam. I think Perfect World is also on Steam, is it?
Yeah, it just launched on Steam recently.
So now they've also put Livelock on Steam. Livelock is basically a sci-fi dungeon crawler. You play up to 4 people can play together at the same time. You pick robot mechs, each with their own abilities and skills and names, as it typically goes. And it does look kind of fun. It's going to be a buy-to-play game, which is also unusual for the publisher. Because they are typically or historically champions of the free-to-play model. So it does kind of bring us full circle. But I just thought it was funny. I think it was just posted to Steam. It must have been 10 minutes ago. So it will launch on Steam. Let's see if we have a date here. I don't believe so.
Nope, coming soon.
Nothing.
Summer, I think, was the last one we got. But do you know why it's buy to play? Because it's a story-based cooperative game. It's not like.
What does that mean?
It's not an MMO.
I think it's buy to play because they think they're going to make more money.
Yes.
No, it's like Torchlight.
Yes.
Torchlight is like. It was an RPG. It was.
I think they were sitting around their round table in an office in Guangdong, and they said, "All right, let's make more money. We'll buy the play."
The office is actually in Beijing, not Guangdong.
Guys,
sorry, Beijing.
This game has no potential for free to play. We were just talking about what model is
no.
for the game.
I
agree with you, Matt.
No, hold up. I got to digress. Why do you think that?
Because there's nothing they could sell. There's literally nothing. It is a cooperative top-down shooter.
They could sell heroes.
Are there levels?
But that's my point. They can't sell anything because they didn't design the
game
monetization model.
Sure. That's fine. But could it have been designed that way? I don't
see
why not.
Yeah, but it would take double the. It would take double the team though.
No, it wouldn't.
Yes,
it could have. Omer, it could
strength.
have if they started like that. It
yes.
Set out to make a free-to-play game, and it would have had like.
Do you think a game like HeroWarz, which by the way is also just a level-based cooperative action RPG, action MMORPG, they call themselves MMORPG,
Bullshit.
But it's linear. It's just like Grand Chase or Elsewhere. You just beat through levels, and there are some. It's cooperative. You play with only like 4 people at a time.
Omer, have you ever played something like? It's different.
DFO was also pretty linear.
Have you played Torchlight, Omar?
No.
Okay, basically.
That's why you don't know why this can't be like.
Also, the studio behind Torchlight was very small, right? So you can't design. You can't add like a cash shop after, it has to be part of your design from the beginning.
Right.
That's my problem.
Okay,
that's my
to make
point.
a good game, you're right. But I feel like we've already reached a point where, okay, you have a game like DFO, this is the cash shop you use. You have a game like, a more 3D traditional MMORPG like Blade and Soul or.
Okay, but this isn't an MMORPG.
But that's why these games are not doing that well either, because they're so, they're all the same, because of that.
Walk me through how this is different than a linear RPG like HeroWarz. I don't know what Livelock is entirely yet. I just see.
We haven't played it.
Okay. Okay. Imagine you took Halo, right?
Okay.
You stripped the multiplayer. It's all multiplayer. You have the co-op, but
you got
all it is the story campaign.
Okay.
You cannot make that free to play. You can't.
But Halo, is there any level? Is there level-based progression in Livelock?
We don't know. We haven't played it.
Yeah, if there is level-based progression. I think you can make it. If not, then fine. I agree with you.
But the levels are important as part of the progress. If you just buy levels, it doesn't work.
No, I'm not saying buying levels.
Progression in The Witcher 3. Can The Witcher 3 be free to play? No.
That's just like that's just a single. That's
This is a senseless argument. It's going nowhere.
Let's move on.
Nowhere.
But his definition was if it has level-based progression, it can be.
It's okay. Yeah, it doesn't have level-based progression. By the way.
There are so many games that are absurdly just linear, and basically they don't have to be multiplayer, right? If like HeroWarz doesn't have to be an MMORPG. It's a linear story-based. Like you beat this level, you go to the next level. Beat this level, go to the next level.
The way it's designed,
you guys keep saying HeroWarz. I gotta Google this.
No one would play it. If it
Say Grand Chase. Have you played Grand Chase all the time?
Yes, I played.
It's just like that.
No one would play Grand Chase if it were single player, pretty much.
Okay, but let's say cooperative. Let's say it's cooperative. Which it is. You go to the levels with your friends.
But isn't this a mobile game?
No.
HeroWarz.
You're really out of touch, aren't you?
Yes.
No, HeroWarz. I did it first look for it. It's PC.
Oh, I got it now. He's so out of touch. He's not ready for 3D games, so he doesn't think anybody else is.
He's still stuck on 2D games, right?
Somebody link me Omer's first look for HeroWarz. I just can't find it.
I'm never letting that one go.
Is it spelled with a Z or something?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Of course. It's all one word too.
Oh my god.
That's why I couldn't find it.
Why? Why do games do this? This game sucks already.
It's cool. It's hip.
I found it.
Zombies.
You guys didn't pronounce it wrong. It's actually HeroWarz. You gotta pronounce it the way it's spelled.
HeroWarz.
HeroWarz. Not even HeroWarz.
No, you're supposed to pronounce it Hero what?
Like when I was playing this too, I always think whether like in these kinds of games, because this has really become like an archetype. Whether it's Vindictus, whether it's Dragon Nest, whether it's HeroWarz, whether it's DFO, right. you have the stage-based gameplay. It really does. Again, it's technically you can call it MMORPG, but it doesn't really feel like a traditional MMORPG.
Yeah, but these games don't have a focus on story and cinematics and all that, and you can really feel that when you look at a game like what I imagine Livelock is going to be.
The story's kind of cool in that game.
You're gonna feel the difference. I mean, it's not the same kind of game. It's not made for the same thing.
This actually looks pretty cool. HeroWarz.
Dude,
yeah,
Dude, so many daughters in this game, dude.
The waifus.
I think HeroWarz is going to do really well. When I took the tour, the guy was sitting there going on about it, all excited. There's a lot of detail. I mean, there is a lot of detail, and it's screwed up.
Stylish too.
And one thing,
one
thing I noticed that I didn't include in the brief tour, because I couldn't fit it in. I couldn't fit it in anywhere. The world is like the dreams that are spilling over into reality are the dreams of a teenage girl, and the world is reflected in that, like what a teenage girl would dream of. And there's like apparently Alice in Wonderland zone that's completely fucked up version of like Alice in Wonderland.
Alice in Wonderland was plenty fucked up on its own.
The thoughts of teenage girls are fucked up. That's just saying.
Matt, you call me fucked up? Huh? You want to fight?
I know.
Everybody's dreams are fucked up. Let's just put it that way.
That's fair. That's fair.
But anyways, I was laughing because apparently Nagne, the guy with the really big sword, he's lazy apparently. So he'll whereas every other character can jump onto like each other's backs, Nagne will grab onto their leg, and when the person runs, he'll ragdoll like crazy, like just flip everywhere, and it's hilarious.
HeroWarz felt like a polished game. Okay, it's
really polished, but
except for finding the download button on the website, that shit was impossible.
That fucking Chrome browser plugin too. I mean, they said it was because of security concerns, and it was the best way that they could do it now, without any hassle to the user. But I don't believe it. It's just it was a pain in the ass.
Actually, HeroWarz.
Yeah, that's potential.
Speaking of fun games, we got a transition Gumby.
Speaking of fun games, I wanted to bring this up because for some reason a lot of people in chat have been talking about it. Riders of Icarus will be heading into the last closed beta test on, oh boy, I better not get this wrong, June 2nd. I believe it's going to be June 2nd.
Do we have keys? Yo, get us keys, Gumby.
We will. Yo, we already got. We hustled them out of their keys.
Has anyone played it yet?
Nope.
Matt actually took a tour and wrote an editorial.
And I played during the first closed beta.
How was it? Oh wow, you're so cool, Matt.
We are going to have about 1,000 keys to give away in the next couple of days.
Awesome.
So make sure you stick around. I haven't had a chance to play it myself, but Matt did take a tour of the Korean server.
No.
So Matt, you want to just tell us, why is everyone so pumped for Riders of Icarus?
No, it was the American server. But anyways,
okay,
they're pumped about it basically because it's really pretty. It's really pretty, and you can capture a bunch of shit. Everybody likes capturing shit these days, right? I mean, it's like all those mobile games. They're about collecting heroes and cards and crap, and you can collect a bunch of mounts and level your mounts, and your mounts level really fast. I was riding around for about 2 minutes, and my mount hit level 6.
How's the gameplay though? Like, what's the combat like? Is it anything unique?
Okay, so combat is tab targeting. Or action combat. You know those ones where you can aim at things and you can only attack the thing you're aiming at, and you can only attack something if you're aiming at it?
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of action combat it has.
Oh.
And every time when you're tab targeting, you have to hit the button every time that you want to attack.
It's one
of those games.
You can't hold it down? You can't hold it down? Or...
I don't know. You might be able to hold it down. I'm not one of those people. But anyways. So you've got that, and you can... One thing that's cool, right? So to... tame mounts, you have to go into like a taming mode. There's a button for it, and you have to manually jump onto the mount, and it initiates like a quick time event where you use WASDA, right? So that's pretty cool. But then to tame flying mounts, you have to jump off of either a ledge or your flying mount onto this mount that you're trying to capture.
That's I guess to literally mount it to tame it.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I mean it's really visceral and it's cool, but
visceral. That's our word.
I like that word, Nat.
Choose the word.
Looks like I'm playing this game.
Which the first thing that I noticed though, and this is the most important thing. No, when I loaded up the tour and started moving around, the first thing I noticed is there was so much motion blur, I almost couldn't tell what was going on screen.
Oh, I hate that.
Can you turn it off?
Yeah.
Yes, you can turn it off, but. I went, there's so much motion blur, and someone else on the tour went, oh my god, yeah, there is.
But this is the game that's adding the ferry race, right?
Yes, in Korea.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm so ready. I'll play this game.
So, but here's the thing. I look at this. Is taming enough to make this game stand out?
Well, there's another thing that's kind of cool. When in combat, you can dodge projectiles. You have a chance to dodge them. That's cool.
So don't play ranged classes. But you have a chance to dodge them, or you have to actively dodge them?
You can actively dodge them, and it gives you a chance. It's a roll. It's a dice roll. I asked.
All right, go ahead, sure.
Oh, I was gonna say, is it like crafting or any of that sort of like stuff you can do aside from?
I don't know. There's enchanting of like you can turn your mounts into seals and then attach them to your.
Wait, seals like
animal,
at the
right?
beach, like at the beach.
No, like a seal. Like you turn it into like a magical
at the beach
seal that you then enchant your armor with.
And how long will the closed beta run for? Do you guys know?
I think the new one's gonna be like 7 days.
Right. Guys, before everybody gets in the hype train, everyone's stroking Riders of Icarus's dick. Let's wait for a moment. We posted the brief look on our MMORPG, and honestly, there were some positive things about the game, but I think people at our MMORPG are usually overly critical, and they were mostly negative. The most upvoted thing I see is don't believe the hype. It's absolute trash, pay-to-win Korean grind fest with the addition of taming. Farming those rare items to make those recipes is also mind-numbing / insane. So one guy actually expanded on the farming the gear. So you have to go through like these level 50 epic dungeons to get the gear you want. And there's such a low drop chance. You got to do it for like 6+ hours. And after you get what you need, you have a chance of failing the crafting or failing the enchanting unless you pay. So spending all that time and then failing to combine an item could be pretty frustrating.
Well, I can see why it's doing well. I mean, it's really pretty. It's got the collection thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got all this other stuff. I mean, I get it. I'm not going to be playing it personally. And let me tell you, the tour was boring. I didn't say that.
I want to point out that if you don't want to play on the official server, it looks like there's already a well-established private server in English, which is fucking crazy because the game's
it's based on the Korean one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you say that's crazy, but in Spirit Online, anyone in Spirit Online.
All right, that was the craziest thing that's ever happened. But
that was pretty crazy. That was pretty nuts.
That was ridiculous. That was someone who had a friend who was a lawyer. Was like, yeah, do it, bro, and they did it. But I'll link it. This is apparently a private server. Don't trust me on downloading it. I don't, whatever. But this is apparently a private server. They opened a cash shop on the 28th. So
I'll try it. I'll give it a shot.
Go spend some money. I think it's funny. I can't tell if this actually has English translations or not. Matt, do you know?
I think I heard it was like a Russian one, but I don't know if it has English. I don't know.
Well, if you know Russian.
Guys, did you know
I don't know.
This game has Winston
I
in
haven't
it.
kept
Look.
up with it.
I saw the monkey. Yeah.
I shared on the podcast. You can just show
Winston.
it to people.
Yeah, this is Winston and Lucio's love child.
Someone on the
Yes.
Reddit.
Yes.
I mean DK. I mean
Oh my
DK as
God.
done by writers
So
of
turn the
Icarus.
beat up.
The
No, Matt, no. It's Lucio and Winston.
I see DK. That is DK.
No.
DK.
Man, you haven't played enough Overwatch. You gotta know how to turn the beat up. Turn the beat up. Stop being racist ass shit.
So this is another Unreal. I think this game's also made on Unreal, right? Or Crytek, one of those.
CryEngine.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, I'm
I think
surprised that was
so.
Unreal.
Wait, no, maybe it was Unreal.
I think it's UE3.
Well, let me
yeah, I think
check
it's.
the,
I
think
just
it's
saw
UE3.
something earlier that was CryEngine, and now I'm confused.
Well, there's an easy way to find out. It's called MMOs.com. Look up the page that one of us set up and doesn't remember. Let's see.
Winston without his armor, exactly. Winston was so cute in that Overwatch short.
Oh,
Well, the
no.
mobile version. The mobile
It's
version.
CryEngine 3.
CryEngine 3.
Oh, it is CryEngine. Okay.
Good job.
That's crazy.
No, but the mobile
They spent
version will be
money on
using
that.
Unreal Engine 4.
Someone just linked redtube.com.
We gotta time this guy out.
Wow, 10 minutes. That's a bit rough.
That is rough.
That was uncalled for.
The warden is not kind.
All right. Well, I guess next week we'll all have an opinion on Riders of Icarus.
Yes.
I'll give it a shot.
Riders of my Icarus.
I've some people on Reddit were saying that the pet system is really good, so it's worth a shot just for that. Who knows?
If you could drop porn in here, it's got to be hentai, all right?
Well,
Or
with
Lemon
that
Party.
talk, that means we're running out of time. So
Oh.
One last graph, because I know we like these infographic charts.
Love graphs.
I know how much Altai loves mobile, and this actually says global digital games market is set to reach 64 billion. Mobile gaming is neither the largest nor the fastest growing category in games. How do you feel about that, Altai?
I feel this is going to change rapidly, and mobile is going to get much bigger.
I have one more statistic to add to this. I just read today that Supercell's top 2 games, this is the company that makes Clash of Clans, made $100 million last month together. $100 million in one month from 2 games. That's pretty good. Even that's it. That's pretty damn good.
Monster Strike earns
Supercell.
Monster Strike earns a whopping $138 million per month, according to Super Data as of yesterday.
Damn, that's crazy. The numbers are changing then. I think
So all
Monster
this
Strike is
discussion
picking
about
it up.
actual MMORPGs, right? Like this makes more money than WoW, right? WoW made for the record like 650 million last year in revenue, right? And Monster Strike made revenue $138 million a month.
And
It
Supercell
makes more
also
money
made
in
more
5
money
months than what WoW does all year.
Oh, it's fucking crazy. I mean, we really got to start developing a mobile game, like just a Connect 3 garbage thing. We could even do our faces. 5 of us.
Yeah, you can't call it garbage, right? It has to be quality.
Well,
No,
we'll
you have to
lie and say
connect-
it's great.
We'll just confuse everyone. You have to connect 5, all 5 of us in a row.
Ooh, I like it.
In the row, we say our names. You know what
That
I'm saying?
reminds me, I didn't get a chance to say it earlier, but you know what? Last week you were gone. I forgot to say my name because I'm used to you being in front of me.
That's good. I'm glad I threw up the dynamic. I'm happy to hear that.
All right. Well, I'm glad we discussed some industry size chart this week, and Riders of Icarus for next week.
Size.
We're glad we let the industry show off their massive e-pings, but
All right, that's it for this week, guys. We are out of time, so stick around for the overtime show, post-game show, whatever we call it.
Show.
Overwatch show.
Overwatch.
All right, that's it.
Overwatch.
Peace.
All right.
See ya.
Till next time, later, guys.